Okay, hey everybody, hi guys, welcome to Wondrous Women Virtual Talk Show episode number, I guess, yes, it's sixth episode. Oh my god, I was just practicing before going live and here I am. So, sixth episode, guys, welcome to this beautiful talk show. Yes, this talk show is on the occasion of Women's Day special month, and we are having women from different sectors of life. So we had women entrepreneur on the first talk show, that was Aruna Narayan. Then we had women into mindfulness. Yesterday we had Miss April from USA. And today we have somebody who's really special to me. I'll tell you why. But we have somebody who is women into dancing. But when I say dance, I know most of you who watch me or who know me, they have seen me dancing for most of my videos on my Instagram, on my YouTube, let it be Facebook, right? So I just keep dancing around. So guys, yes, I am a Zumba instructor for last 10 years. And today we have this woman into dance who is also from Zumba Fitness. Now, guess what? Why is she so special? Because, guys, if you are a Zumba instructor or if you're planning to become a Zumba instructor, after becoming a licensed Zumba instructor, after joining the Zen community, you're going to see the first face ever of this beautiful lady. That's what I would say. So, guys, with this pleasure and this honor, I want to welcome Miss Lindsey Taylor. Hey Lindsey, hi.
Hey, hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me and for that wonderful introduction. That was very sweet of you.
Yes,
Thank
but
you so
you
much.
know it, Lindsey. I think all the Zumba instructors, yes, we do. So, as an education specialist, we do show Beto's videos and we show how the Zen volumes work. But the first thing that we ever show is the My First Class videos. And you walk in, and I love that whole story, how it happens. Such a beautiful way to convey people, and the way you talk, the way you communicate, it's so peaceful. At the same time, there's a lot of energy. So Lindsay, thank you
Yes.
so much for coming on this virtual talk show, and it's an immense pleasure. I would say that I'm here. I just want to welcome you into Women into Dance. So with this
Thank you.
introduction, Lindsay, more than I telling people, what do you do, and you know, I know some of the things that you do because I also know from Instagram that you have this beautiful family. You have 5 kids, and the sixth one is on the way. Congratulations for that.
On the way.
So tell us, like, the women into dancing, this, tell us that where you're born and brought up, and how did dance come to your life, and if you could just walk us through your beautiful life journey till now.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so first things first, I am from Salt Lake City, Utah. I come from quite a large family, which is probably one of the reasons why I have a large family myself. I grew up the youngest of 8 children.
Wow.
And for me, it was so amazing. I loved always being surrounded by my siblings who were my best friends. But something unique about us is that as I grew up, my family grew up singing and dancing together.
Wow.
And so we had our show that was the Taylors that traveled, and we would perform in different places. And of course, I was the youngest, so I would come on and sing my little song as the littlest, and everybody would say, "Oh, that's so cute."
Cute. I know. Yes.
and that's kind of where the spark of music and dancing all began for me. I really fell in love with it. It just became a part of who I am from the second I was born. I was born into a family of people who love to dance, who love to sing, who love to move, and where music was a very influential part of our life.
Wonderful.
And so that's where everything started for me. And then as I grew up, many siblings, right? I had 7 siblings. Everybody started to kind of go their own way and do their own thing, and maybe move on and start their own family. So as our collective group of siblings singing and dancing kind of started to move on and do their own thing, which was great. I mean, that's part of life, right?
Yeah.
So then I got heavily into dance, less of the singing. I participated in dance classes. My sister actually ran a dance studio out of our basement.
Wow.
So growing up, I had a basement room full of mirrors, hard floors that we danced on, and that's how I learned my basic dance techniques, and I mean, very classically trained, ballet, jazz, hip hop, all the fun things. Um, so that's kind of where it all got started. I danced through all the teams through school, and then once I graduated high school, I actually then took another turn where I started participating in musical theater. And
Beautiful.
I loved musical theater. I loved just the singing, the dancing, the combination of all of it together was exhilarating for me. So any opportunity I had to be able to express my love of movement, of dance through anything was really, really exciting for me. So while I did the musical theater, I also taught dance lessons on the side. So my
Okay.
sister opened up a dance studio that was outside of our home, and I taught there and helped her with some of the management of it and run a few things as far as dance classes, and we also ran a couple of singing groups. So from there, that's kind of where everything came together. And then I heard about something amazing and wonderful called Zumba, and there really was no Zumba here in Salt Lake City at that time. I remember trying to look up a few classes. I think there were maybe like 1 or 2 instructors showing on the website. And I thought, well, this is great.
Yeah.
We run a dance studio. Why don't we do fitness classes in the morning? Because the studio sat empty in the morning because all the kids are at school.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, I could learn to teach these classes, and I could teach. And so since there was no Zumba here in Utah, I actually had to fly to Arizona, and I took a training.
Okay.
And it was within the first 10 minutes that we started dancing that I just felt that connection with the music, the same connection I felt when I danced with my siblings, the same connection I felt dancing on my high school teams,
That's
and the same
beautiful.
connection I felt doing musical theater. I felt that same thing through Zumba. Like, what is this? This is a fitness class, but I feel so energized. I feel so excited. And so it really was within that first 15 minutes that I just fell in love with it and brought it back and started teaching classes, and it just filled my life. And at that time, my sister was ready to move on to something new and offered me to start running that dance studio. And that was also at the same time I was offered a position working as an education specialist for Zumba. And
That
so
is
I knew that I
amazing.
couldn't do both, be able to put my heart into both of them. And so that was where I made that decision, where I decided, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna close the dance studio doors along with my sister, and then move on and take this journey of Zumba and see where it takes me.
Okay.
And I mean, it's brought me to where I am now. That decision was pivotal for me in my life.
Awesome.
And that piece of dance has just sparked all these little fires throughout my life that have led me from one place to another, to becoming who I am, to loving who I am, to exploring different pieces of who I am, to know, yeah, maybe I don't really like this piece, so maybe I'm gonna explore this side of things.
Yeah.
And that's a very quick version, kind of a long, quick version of my journey in dance to where I am now.
This is so pretty. So I just want to say this. When you said about the musical theaters, when it's singing and dancing, that kind of excites me, Lindsay, because I guess it's easy to dance at times, but to sing and dance together, oh gosh, I have huge respect for such artists, because it's really tough. This is what I can say, because remembering the steps is one thing, and you sing and you express at the same time. So this is really good. I didn't know about this, this part of you, but it's so nice to hear about it. So that's amazing.
So I was given the chance on my Zumba journey to help write some lyrics and then sing on one of the Zin volumes.
Oh, that's
And I don't
cool.
know if you know this,
Which one?
but on Zin volume 37, it's the song that is called If You Wanna Dance.
Of course, this one. I still use it. Yes. Yes, it's the same volume from the Saxo Beat, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's one of the hit volumes. Yes, of course.
Yeah, so that was just a really cool way to bring a piece of who I am into Zumba and into this new journey that I was on. So that was really special for me.
That is so cool. You know what? I'm going to listen to the song again and imagining you're singing now. Yes, I think that's going to make it more special. That's good. So, Lindsay, with this, I want to ask you the next question is so being into dance, as you said, yes, you've been brought up as a kid into dancing, and of course, I'm sure that has happened by choice. Was it by choice, or you just went along with the flow because again the dance studio responsibility was on you, and then you're saying, my sister is doing something else, so maybe I just need to be here or something like that. So was there anything else that you wanted to get into, or this was really your choice?
I love that question. In the beginning, I would say no, it wasn't because I was born into it, right?
Yeah.
So I was born into the music and the dancing, which is beautiful, and I loved every piece of it. But one thing is when I was younger and my mom had me in dance lessons, I did not like going. I wanted to stay and play with my friends. I didn't want to have to go to class. But she would still take me, and even though I would fight it, and she would still take me to class, because what she told me was that you were upset when you went, but when you walked out with a smile on your face, and you were always happy after. So
Wow.
I knew that there was some sort of love to what you were doing. And I remember, of course, as a kid, I want to quit dance. I don't want to do this anymore. But now I look back at that and I think, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that my mom saw that piece,
Yeah.
right? She saw that piece of me that loved it and kept me going, because that allowed me to be involved in the dance teams at school, and be a part of fun, allowed me to continue to use my love of dance to connect with others and to have fun. That eventually led me to this point, to that pivotal decision where I was deciding, do I want to run this dance studio and kind of continue in these footsteps, or do I want to branch off and do something for myself that's totally different?
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me the confidence to make that choice. And so in the beginning, no, it wasn't by choice, but it was by my mom seeing something inside of me that loved the dancing and loved the movement. And then as I got a little bit into my older preteen years, it definitely became all choice, and that was what I wanted to do. Was I wanted to continue to dance because I loved it so much.
That's so nice, because I guess it was the right choice then, right? So, music made you happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, music made you happy, dance made you happy, that connection, and I would say the connection with the music and dancing together. So that's really cool. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that you said that your mom just saw that in you, that once my daughter just goes into the class, she's not very happy about it, because I think these are the blues that we all see in our kids, right? But when she's back, she's happy about it. So that's such a blessing. So with this, Lindsay, I want to take you to the next question is, how would you see, the way we see you, the way I see you, the way others, Zumba instructors see you, we see you in some of the Zen volumes, some of my first class. So we see you very successful as a Zumba instructor, as an education specialist, because you're still doing the same. So for you, what is success? If I ask you that, define success, or if you could describe success for yourself, what would you say?
Okay, this is a really great question that I've actually been thinking a lot about lately, because I feel like for everyone, success is completely different.
Absolutely.
And I think if you would have asked me this question 10 years ago, my answer would have been different.
Yeah.
And at that time, my version of success was getting out there and teaching trainings, traveling, getting up to teach classes in different places, having the opportunity to choreograph and present on the Zen volume, things that happened were truly a picture of success to me. If I flash forward now, what makes me feel successful is my picture of success is the life I have created for myself that I love. And I love the fact that I get to do something that I love, but for me, the biggest portion of success comes down to my home and my family. And I'm not talking about the home I live in as far as the size of my home or something like that, but I'm talking about the feeling of peace that I've created in my home and the feeling of unity that I've created with my family and my kids, and the opportunity that I have to teach my children and to share my love of music and to share my love of dance. Now I look back and I remember when I was doing these things, traveling and teaching trainings and gone every single weekend, I remember longing for that, thinking how much I love getting to do what I do, but how much cooler would this be if I got to share it with somebody else? And so that was something that I always kind of had in the back of my mind and in my heart. And so, you know, with everything that we've been through this past year with COVID and with isolation and having to kind of be on our own, feeling my home be this safe haven for me, for my family, for me to be able to continue to work, for me to be able to balance work and mom life has been really, really a big thing for me. And so success, I think, for every single person out there, every woman out there is completely different. And it could be in the business world, it could be in the family world, it could be in the dance world, it could be, you know, in so many different realms.
Yes, different sectors totally.
Yes, but I think what's most important is what does that mean to you? And I think as we move through life, that definition changes. And I think that's important because that's what keeps you moving and kind of keeps you excited for new things and what is to come next.
Amazing. What a beautiful answer. Yes, because I think 10 years back, 5 years back, even today, or maybe 2 years from now when I ask you, it's going to be different. So thank you so much. That was a lovely answer, Lindsey. So Lindsey, with this, when you said about the home, family, and of course we all have been through this, I think the toughest year, 2020, not only work-wise, but I guess it was with the change that we all dealt with. It was really tough to maybe sit down, and for the first 2 months we were just wondering what to do, you know, is the world going to just stop? And it's for us, for being Zumba instructors and education specialists, for us it was all about going out and meeting people, teaching them, inspiring them. But again, thanks to Zumba, because they made everything again so easy, you know, the virtual thing started. So with this notion, I want to ask you something, the question related to your home, because when I see you, you see that you already have you have 5 kids, and I know you came from such an amazing big family. How do you manage things? Believe me, there are moms watching this, or maybe when this YouTube live is going to be saved, they are going to ask you this question, because once they go to your Instagram page and they're going to say, what? I'm dead, maybe I'm just dead managing 2 kids. About me, I'm done in 1 kid. She's already 14, and when I look at the other kids, when I say, oh, you know what, I'm so happy, my kid is all grown up. So please tell us about this beautiful work and family, life balance, that how you manage, or because I'm sure you are a very passionate mom, passionate wife, the way you're a passionate homemaker as well. So how do you get this, Lindsey? What is your secret? Yeah.
So I do feel that there is some innate piece of me that always was good with kids. I was always, when I taught dance, I was always put in charge of the younger kids classes because I was able to move through that and connect with that so well. my older sisters, when they had their kids, I always wanted to, I was the fun aunt and I loved being with their children. So when it came time for me to start my family, I was very, very excited. One thing some people don't know is that when I married my husband, um, he came with two kiddos, two bonus kiddos. So from a previous marriage. So when we got married, I became an instant mom, and we also had our first daughter together, Ruby.
Wow.
And in that transitional period, it was a lot.
I know.
I just became a brand new mom with my daughter Ruby, and then I also stepped into a new role of a stepmom. But we decided in that very first time together, my husband and I, that the word we wanted to eliminate from our home was the word step. Me being stepmom or them being my stepchildren, because for me it sounded like a way of disconnecting us, right? And I didn't want them to ever feel like I only step loved them or half loved them or the other way around. So we kind of made this deal with our family in the very beginning that step would never be used in our vocabulary in our home. And of course sometimes we need to for explanation purposes, like in this moment here.
Yeah.
But to me, they are my kiddos and I am their mom. And I raise them as if they came from my belly, but I always say that they didn't come from my belly, but they came from my heart. And so that was a really, really big learning experience for me, that I felt that I was able to move through I was able to flow through it pretty well. I have sometimes maybe a little bit of maybe it could be considered a little bit of an annoying trait, but I look at things always the right side. I'm a very positive person, so when negative things happen, it's very easy for me to see what is the positive thing to take out of that. And so as we moved through that, I was very fortunate because I have a husband who supported Zumba and supported what I did.
Yeah.
He fell in love with me coming to a class and just watching me do something that I was passionate about. So that was really big, was having a partner who supported what I did so that I could feel like it was, I have the ability to get out there and to continue to, tackle balancing working as a mother and being at home as a mother. But your main question here is how do I do it?
Yes, it's a secret. You're gonna share it with everybody.
Sometimes I honestly don't even know myself, and I think that that's a really important thing to acknowledge because I don't always do it. And there are days that are hard, and there are days that I feel inadequate and that I can't do it, and that what have I gotten myself into? But I also have days where it feels so beautiful and it feels so right.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes that as women we torture ourselves thinking that we have to be so perfect and do everything so right.
Well said.
But for someone, one child is right and that feels so perfect. And for me, I remember holding my baby that I just had last year.
Yeah.
I remember holding her in the hospital, and I knew there was one more. And so for me, that felt so right. And so for some people, they think, "What in the world, 6 kids? That's nuts. That's crazy." But for me, it feels so right. It's a picture of my success in life to bring a family in together to raise them in the beautiful way that I was raised. And so I am very much a fan of structure and very much a fan of responsibility. I don't do everything for my kids. I give them age appropriate tasks so that they can learn how to do
that
it
is
for
so
themselves.
good.
And that's a really big thing. I can do what I do because I have help and my kids are helpful and it's not always easy to get them to be helpful.
No,
but
I think that takes a lot of patience, right?
yes, it does. And each, I work off of, I always have like little charts and little notes and little things all throughout my house that help my kids do things for themselves so that I can be there to support but to help them learn. So each one of my kids has a chart that they do in the morning, and that chart is specific to them and their age. And
Yeah.
so that helps them to tackle their morning tasks before school on their own with the support of mom around, but they're able to do it on their own, if that makes sense. And
Yes.
that's been something that's really helpful in our home of having a way to manage the chaos.
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
Chaos.
Exactly. I think that's the word, chaos. So, but Lindsay, I really appreciate this because you're making them take their own responsibility. And sometimes I think kids look forward to that because as they're growing up, they want to be like an adult and they're going to say that, hey, you know what, mom, I want to do it. And if the elder one does it, the small kids, the younger ones, they're going to say, you know what, I want to be like my bigger sister or brother and I want to do the same. So you are actually getting them be the leaders at this age. So I want to say hats off in that. But training them with a lot of patience is, I think that takes a lot. But I'm sure it's like few days of training, and sometimes it's not only kids. I think we mess up too, right? We create a lot of chaos in our life as well. So this is such a good thing. So guys, if you're watching this, it's a beautiful thing to do, that to get the kids. And guys, I also want you guys to go ahead and watch the video that Lindsay already made about how she manages, and I've seen that video, Lindsay. So that's beautiful. It's about getting your kids right, that organizer, and then take the notes, the task is done, make a tick on that task. So that's really nice. I think that's a huge help that you're already giving the moms with work life balance and having kids, because we all love kids, right? Moms, we want to have kids. That completes us, completes like like a family.
Right.
So thank you so much, Lindsay. That was a beautiful answer. So my next
Thank you.
question with this um, is there anything that really inspires you in your life? Is anybody like a role model to you that inspires you? Or how do you, as you said that you are a positive person, that the moment you start talking, we feel that there's a lot of positivity in this live right now as well. So it's a blessing, I would say. Not exactly a blessing, because you said that, Shweta, I'm a person that if anything negative comes to me, I know how to get it into positivity. I'm sure you have got it, but is there anything that really inspires you to keep on and keep yourself motivated on this, your way of life?
You know, there are many things that inspire me, I think, and I think this is one of the reasons why I also am able to look at things in such a positive way. And of course, I have my down moments, right?
Yeah.
I like
All
everybody.
of us,
You
yes.
know, when I got the news just a couple of days ago that I was not going to be able to teach Zumba classes for the rest of my pregnancy, and that I had to take things really low. Well, yeah, I didn't just think, oh, I'm gonna look on the bright side. No, I had tears and I was sad
Yeah.
and I cried because that was a big piece of my life that I'm gonna have to just put to the side for a little bit. Of course, there was no question, right? I want to take care of myself and the health of my baby,
True.
but I was sad, and I took that time to be sad, and then moved forward with that. But something that helps me to keep that perspective is that I grew up in a very religious family, and my faith is really, really important to me.
Yes.
And it's something that I choose to raise my family by, and it's something that I take my steps and my journey through life. And so that has been something that's been really important to me, to help me through the hard times, and then to help me to find gratitude in the good times. And so I think that my biggest inspiration throughout my entire life that has kind of encompassed everything has just always been that faith that's important to me. The other things that inspire me now are the important people in my life. And I would would love to like reach out and say, this amazing person, this amazing celebrity, or this amazing person, which I think there are so many incredible people out there that do so many wonderful things.
Yeah.
But for me, it's that circle around me that I'm with every single day that inspires me. My husband gives me great inspiration with how he is so. I'm kind of the crazy in our relationship, and he's like the calm. So he's the calm to my crazy creative storm, my
Yes.
crazy ideas, and that inspires me to look at things differently. And each one of my kids gives me inspiration because each one is so different, and each one wants different things. And when I think I figured out how to raise one kid, the next one comes along and it's totally different.
It's different.
So
Yeah.
there's always there's always continued inspiration for me that I think is really important, that I don't just look at one thing as my inspiration. My faith encompasses everything, and that is kind of my driving factor, but that I'm able to pick at little things and find pieces of inspiration through different parts of my life that I say, I really like this, and I really like this, and I want that as a part of my life. And that comes from the people who are in my circle of life that I love and that I trust, and that is what really continues to drive and help motivate me.
That's so nice. Yes, and that's a fact, right? So many people around us keep us inspiring. So, and then we always keep forward to looking somebody that, what, this is my role model or that is my role model. But actually, if we look around, it's our own people, our own circle, that really inspires us. That's a lovely answer. Thank you so much, Lindsay. So, Lindsay, now I'm going to change a bit mood of this whole life. Okay, so I know you are, because the way I've seen you laughing and smiling, I do think you are like a funny person, sometimes crazy, as you mentioned. So now here's the next question. Could you share something like really funny in your life, or it can be related to a Zumba class or anything that actually even today when you think of it, that keeps you laughing for hours maybe, or anything hilarious?
I had kind of a funny experience in one of my Zumba trainings. I mean, there's always those things where you forget the music.
Yeah.
There's been times when I've like stepped off the stage when I didn't mean to, or
Yes.
so I have two experiences, and one of them was in I was teaching a training, and I had left to go use the restroom, and I came back. Well, when I had come back, my assistants and the whole entire class had kind of made this plan to play a prank on me. And so when I came back, I was talking and instructing. They said, okay, we're going to do it with the music. So I turn on the music and I start dancing. Well, in Zumba, when you start dancing, everybody starts dancing with you.
Yes.
The whole training, 50 people in the training just stood there and looked at me. And I was kind of a little bit stunned at first, but I kept going, and I was like coaching, okay, now with me, and they just stayed there.
Everybody.
Yes, everyone. Nobody moved. Everybody just continued watching, and then I just remember like looking around at what was going on, and then I saw my assistants over there, and they had their cameras out, and they were videoing, and they were just giggling and laughing, and then everybody just started laughing. But it was super funny, but it was also a little bit of like a nightmare come true. Like, have you ever had those dreams as an instructor that you get up and start teaching?
Nobody moves. Yeah.
And nobody dances with you.
So, or maybe it's like,
So,
I can feel this moment, Lindsay, because I can imagine if I'm teaching and nobody's moving with me, it might make me angry also at the same time, because hey guys, do I exist? Do you see me? Or maybe I'm invisible right now.
yes.
That is so cool.
I think another funny moment for me was at one of the conventions. I was teaching a very, very large master class, and there was over 700 people there. And it was right after one of my Zen volumes had come out. So this is where the instructor gets to receive music and choreography and learn it, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing one of the songs that I had choreographed from that Zen volume.
Mhm.
Everybody had gotten that Zen volume, and so they knew the choreography. And I remember there was this really big instrumental part, and I did it backwards. So I did the movements wrong. And I just remember my whole body just like what just happened? And I pointed at myself, and it was super funny, but it was also really cool. Because I think that we feel that in life when we mess up, people are pointing and laughing. And in this moment, I played this video over and over and over because when I stopped and I recognized that I made the mistake,
Yeah.
I kind of like dropped my head down and I started laughing, and everybody reacted like, oh my gosh. But then there was laughter and then there was cheers. And so that was, I know you wanted something a little more goofy and funny, and it was a goofy and funny experience,
Yes.
my reaction. But then what happened after was so cool to me because I think sometimes in life we think that people are waiting for us to fail or do something dumb that's going to mess things up. But for the most part, people are there rooting us on and cheering us on, and that was something to me that was just really, really cool.
This is cool, but I know this is like funny, embarrassing at the same time. So, Lindsay, this reminds me of something that so it's been that I'm a Zumba education specialist for last 5 years. So, it has also been a privilege that most of the time when Beto was in India, and last year also I could teach a training with him. Of course, I was shivering. You can understand that. So, every time we practiced with him, he used to tell us that, guys, you are a Zumba education specialist and I'm Beto. Even though I do a mistake, people are just going to say, good job, wow, they're going to love me for what I am. But if a Zest does a mistake, they are going to stand, they're going to point at you, and either they're going to laugh or they're going to make a video and put it on the social media saying that Zest messed up. So this is what Beto used to tell us, and it is so true. So this reminds me of that moment, when Beto had shared this with us. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lindsay. With this notion, we come almost at the end part of the interview. So now this part, it's going to be like a funny game, not funny also, but something like a game. So the name of the game is rapid fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a word. The moment I say a word, any word, the first thing that comes to your mind, you just say it out, and you have only 1 second or maybe 5 seconds. Okay, let me be cool with you. So only 5 seconds to think about it. It can be anything. You can describe that word or related to that word, or you can just say one word related to that word. Okay, let's do it. I don't have more, but I just have maybe just 5 to 6 words. Ready? Okay. Here we go. Ready. The first one is dance.
Zumba.
Choreography.
Fun.
Color.
Pink.
Red.
Red.
Yes, R-E-D, red. Yeah. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say red?
Me.
That is so cool. Okay, cumbia. I know I have crazy ones for you. Cumbia.
Ooh, passion.
That is so cool. Hip hop.
Ooh.
You can describe
My
what.
favorite.
Sorry.
Yeah, my favorite.
Okay. So next two are I love.
My family.
I hate.
Nothing.
That
I
is-
don't like the word hate, so I try to keep that out of my vocabulary, but I definitely don't like olives.
So you hate olives. Okay, that's got it. So that's it. That was such a fun thing to know you more, to know more about your life, the way you've been brought up into dance and following your passion, following your heart. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for being here today and sharing your experiences with all of us. So before we say
Thank you.
bye bye, I always ask, you're my wondrous woman in dance. So is there any, message that you want to give to people who are watching you right now? Or, this, as I said, this YouTube live is also going to be saved. So people will keep watching you, what you said. So is there any message that you want to give them so that they can stay motivated, inspired, for everything they're doing right now?
Yes, I think one of the messages that I would love to share is that we now live in a world where we see everything that everybody is doing. And usually when we see the things that other people are doing, we only see the best parts.
Yeah.
Right? We see the success, we see the happiness, we see the likes, we see the comments, we see the beautiful photos, we see all of these really beautiful things. And sometimes that can, we can let this little tiny devil of comparison enter our mind. And we can look at other women, or we can look at other people and think, oh my gosh, they have everything, or that's so amazing, or look how beautiful, or look how perfect. And I think the world of social media is beautiful because we get the opportunity to connect and share,
So true.
but there also can be a negative piece to it when it comes to how we perceive ourselves when we look at social media. And when we look at other women and what's on their feed and what they're doing, we all of a sudden feel like what we're doing is not enough. And I think that one of the things I would love to share is that if that feels like something that you feel, and I feel that same thing too, that number one, we have to give ourselves grace, because we're not perfect, and neither is the person that we see on the screen. Everybody has difficult things, everybody has hard things, everybody has imperfections, but with social media and sometimes the virtual world, you don't always see that. You see my pretty office behind me,
That's
but
pretty.
you don't see the messy house that, and the corner over here that I shoved everything in. And so I think that's really, really important to know that we get a glimpse of things, and that everybody out there has stuff, and that those things are difficult. So, you know, keep that perspective in mind and try not to compare yourself to people that you see. But if you ever compare yourself to yourself and think, am I doing better than I did yesterday? Am I treating people kinder than I did yesterday? Am I just taking steps forward in a positive way? Am I making changes in a positive way? And I think if we can focus more on that, rather than comparing ourselves to what other people are doing or saying, that we'll find more peace within ourselves, and that will help us to find more happiness and success in the things in our own lives. And be happy for the people we see outside of us, instead of feeling insecure about what other people do.
Yeah.
This allows us to be confident in who we are and what we bring to the table, because that is important, and what every single person out here has to offer is important and is never inadequate or not enough. We all have something special to offer. So don't let that little thief of joy called comparison. We say that comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And don't let that thief creep into your mind and take over. And just remember that you are here for a reason, and you're beautiful, and what you bring to the table is important, no matter what anybody else is doing around you.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Such a beautiful message, Lindsay. And so true.
Thank you.
Because you know what, I think the biggest takeaway for me from this live is now it's about never compare yourself. Yes, you are right, because we don't see always what's going on in everybody else's life. But thank you so much. That was the most beautiful message. Really, I'm not just saying it because I'm here on the live, but this is the most beautiful message I have ever said. And the way you put it right now, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Such a pleasure to
Thank
have you.